Hey, it's Nan. I'm just doing a tutorial today on how to set up a mic for recording vocals or recording a podcast. If obviously we were recording a podcast, we'd have two mics, but we're just demonstrating on one mic, and you could obviously just do the same thing twice for two mics. So let's just get into it. So in terms of the equipment you need, we'll just need a sound card. We'll need a mic. We'll need the cables that come with the sound card. That would be XLR, power adapter, and you'll need a computer, and we've got a MacBook in this case. And on the computer, we need to have what is called a DAW installed, which stands for Digital Audio Workstation. And I'm using one called Ableton Live. And you can do some other ones as well that are around like Logic and Fruity Loops and whatnot, but Ableton's my weapon of choice. What else do we need? I think I've mentioned everything. Yep. Cool. So first thing we need to address is probably all the physical connections. So if we just have a look at the back of this sound card, first thing you might want to do is plug in, I'll just unplug everything. Let's go here. So there's about 3 connections on my end. So the first one we want to connect is, actually, makes more sense. We want to connect the power first to our sound card. So we plug the male end of the AC adapter into the female of the sound card. And then same thing with the XLR cable. I'll just plug into one, actually, it makes more sense. And we also need to plug in I think these are USB-Cs. Yeah, USB-Cs. This is a USB-C cable that goes into the back as well. So now we've got 3 connections in the sound card. And on the other side of the XLR cable, we've got the microphone. I've got here what is called a Rode NT1. It's a condenser mic. And there's usually 2 options when it comes down to microphones. You've got condensers and dynamics. Dynamics are more focused on in a live situation like in clubs and bars. But condensers are really what we want to go for when we're inside like any closed room in a recording studio, or in our bedrooms, in a lounge room when we're trying to do podcasting or vocals. And the other side of the USB-C cable, we just plug that straight into the computer. Cool, so once that's all connected up, we want to boot up our computer. Obviously mine was already booted up, and we want to run Ableton. So Ableton's running now, and after we get Ableton running, we want to go into preferences. It's a bit hard to see, maybe I'll zoom in if I can. Oh, it doesn't let me. So inside Ableton, we can go into audio, we can go into preferences and audio. And with our input device, we want to turn the device on first, actually, because nothing will come up. Okay, just close that, turn it back on again. Okay, so once we have our device turned on, there's an on switch on the back. The status LED would light up, and we would after that, we'd go into preferences, and then we would click on our sound card, which is in my case Audient ID44, and we're selecting the input. So that means anything that's coming into the mic, we're enabling the sound card that we want, because there's multiple different sound cards happening. We've got like the MacBook one, and we've got other bits and pieces happening. So we want to enable that our sound card Audient, and the output, which is what we want to use to send the sound out so we can actually hear what we're doing in our end result. We'll click Audient as well, but kind of doesn't make sense in this scenario because I haven't got my speakers here. But we'll just click that anyways, just for demonstration purposes, because then usually you'd have your speakers connected to the sound card. So after that's all done, we might want to do a sound check. So and before I mention mention the sound check, I won't demonstrate it today, but we also want to install the firmware of the sound card. So we can find that online by just Googling it, going to the Audient website, and we can download the latest firmware, because sometimes things won't work. It's most likely because it's not the latest update. And even having the latest update of the DAW that you're choosing, so in my case it's Ableton, and checking online for your latest version. See what else, if I've missed anything. Otherwise, I think we're looking pretty good. So I might actually do my first test run. So what we'll do is, the XLR should be now plugged into the back of the sound card, and the step to usually testing our mics is we want to turn up what we call phantom power first, which is indicated by plus 48V. And then the next step is we want to turn up the gain to maybe about, we'll say maybe 10 or 11 o'clock. And then I might just start speaking into the mic. And before I even speak to it, I just check if I have some levels inside one of the channels inside Ableton. Testing 1, 2. So now that I'm testing the mic, I can see that we've got a little bit of level on our channel. So the computer, and it looks pretty good, but I reckon we can probably go for a bit more. So I'm just going to keep rambling on and on and on, and we want to try to aim for, there's no real hard number, but in my experience, I feel like about -10 decibels is usually a really nice healthy level to aim for. So we might aim for that, and I think that looks okay to me. Even turn it down a bit more. And yeah, and maybe I'll get Kim, my student, to hold onto the mic, and maybe we can get her to do some tests for us. So maybe you can do some dialogue or some singing, whatever you're comfortable with. Yep, and I'll just click, we'll click tab, which sends us to this other view called arrangement view. And if I click this little circle on top here, that will enable us to record. So if I just start recording now.
Testing, 1, 2, 3, check. We have sound or no? Let's see.
So Kim's just done a little test for us, and we'll just play it back and have a listen to what we've done. I'm just going to go back into preferences, because we need to listen to the sound, and because we're not going to use speakers connected to the sound card, we need to use the speakers of the computer. So that means I have to go back into output and select my MacBook Pro speakers. So now I've done that. If I play it back, we should be able to hear Kim's voice.
Testing, 1, 2, 3, check. We have sound or no? Let's see.
So it seems to be some sort of buzzing sound, and oh no. Okay, we need to figure out how to address this. So, I wonder, maybe if we do another, if I turn this down and turn this off and unplug it, replug it, how much time do we have? 8 minutes. Plug it in again, or if I plug it into the second one, if I want to just plug it into the second channel and see if there's any changes. So this is a pretty old sound card, so if I turn this up, go to, and if I create a new track, and I arm the new one and I select second, maybe we might sound a bit better. So maybe I'll get Kim to do a signal test.
Hey, checking. Are we good?
Yep, I think that
Sweet.
doesn't look too bad. So we might do a second run. And I'll just hit the circle button again. Oh, no, we need to go back to preferences. Maybe we'll just leave it on the
Checking, hopefully no buzzing.
Sweet. Alright, so now we're going back into preferences and selecting the computer audio. Here we go. Hopefully we'll be okay. If not, then yeah.
Checking, hopefully no buzzing.
Okay, so my theory is the reason why there's buzzing is because we're surrounded by like phone devices, possibly. That could like trigger the noise, but usually at the home studio I usually don't get this issue because this is the first time we've set up in a room like this. So maybe one thing could be, I wonder if it's anything with the sound card, if you have one before. Could help. So maybe we'll do a second run. Oh.
Checking. Waiting to see, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Let's go.
Okay, I'm a bit worried already at the start. That's got already some buzz, but let's hope.
Checking. Waiting to see, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Let's go.
It's weird. Okay. Well, that's the general gist of how to set up a sound card. Obviously, we've had some buzzing issues, but we might do a part 2 in terms of how we could address those buzzing issues, but we'll do that in a later video. So thanks for watching.